Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes, way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks.
Hi everyone, very good evening. Welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. So quickly give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and the screen is visible, so that we can start. Just quickly give me a +1 in the chat. Everyone can quickly give me a +1 if my voice is clearly audible to everyone. And then I'll add my screen to the stream as well. So I'm looking at the comments. Is my voice clearly audible? Just give me a +1. Okay, hi Abhinav, hi Mandal, hi Gaurav Singh. Chat is flowing well. Great. So let us start off with this problem. Okay. Actually, it's almost good night. All right. So let's just start off with this problem that was enemy. So what does the problem say? The problem says that you will be given geek land, like you are living in geek land. Okay. So basically, you are living in geek land, and geek land can be seen as a grid of n cross m shape. Okay. So basically, the problem is saying that there is a geek land that is of n cross m grid. Okay. Like basically, there are n rows in the grid and there are m columns in this particular grid. Okay, this is what the question says. Now there are k empty positions, like there are k enemies at k positions. Okay, so basically it says that this problem says that suppose that we had a grid, let's say we had a grid of something of this type, like let's say the grid looked like this, something like this. Okay, let's say this was the grid, and let's say we had one row, let's say one, let's say two. Okay, just a second, let me draw it. Let's say we had like this, we had some more columns to it and rows to it. Let's draw it like this. All right, now if we had something of this kind, and then we had some rows as well. So let's say this was the grid that we had, this this much rows, and then again some of the other rows. Now suppose that this was the grid that I had. Now how many rows and columns do I have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I had here 7 rows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I have 7 rows here, okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So m is equal to 9. I have 9 columns. Okay. Now the problem says that if like if suppose that you are given in this particular array, that is this particular enemy array, you can see in enemy array you have some coordinates given, x and y coordinates. So if you will see here, let's say we talk about it. So let's say we are talking about one based index. So let's say at 2 comma 2, suppose that we are talking about one based index and 2 comma 2 is given in the array. So this or let's say in fact 3 comma 3 is given. Suppose if 3 comma 3 is given, in that case can we say that 3 comma 3 is which cell? I think third row and third column, this particular cell, right? So the problem says that is it clear to everyone? If at this particular cell there is an enemy present, right? So if at a particular row and column there is an enemy present, that enemy is present in that particular row and column, then that enemy is present in that particular cell. Okay, so if that enemy is present in that particular cell, then what will happen? That enemy is present. Now block or there's some lag. Still there's some lag. I can see that it's working fine. Just can you just confirm that? Okay, is it still lagging? Sir, your voice is buffering. Is there some issue? All right. I think now it's fine, right? Am I audible, guys? Is my voice clearly audible? Someone can confirm in the chat, or should I check it again? Is my voice clearly audible? Someone can confirm in the chat. Okay, I think it works. Let me continue. If you have still some issues, then you can let me know. If everything is working fine, then you can hit the like button. Okay. Now understand this thing. If we have this particular cell, right? If we have 3 comma 3 given, then the enemy will be at this particular cell. Please give me a +1. At this yellow cell, the enemy will be there. So basically what you will do is now, in that case, you will block this whole column, like whole row will be blocked, and this whole column will be marked as block. Okay. Right. Now suppose that it happens that at the cell, let's say at the cell, something like let's say we have 6 comma 8. Okay, and we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we have 8. So we have this particular cell as 6 comma 8. Here also we have the enemy, then we'll block this particular row. Okay, and we will block this particular column. Okay, this is what we will do. Now when you do this particular thing, if you will observe, can I say that there are some empty spaces remaining? What do you think, guys? Please tell me. There are some there are some spaces that are there, right? You can see this region is there, right? This particular region is there, then this region is there, this region is also there, this region is there, this region is there, this region is there. Can I say this? Please write a yes, all the pink regions. For all the, this is really hard question. No, it's not a hard question, believe me, it's not a hard question. It is not that hard. Is it clear up till now? Please write a clear in the chat, everyone. You can just confirm. Is it clear to everyone? Just hit the like button and give me a +1 in the chat. Is this part clear? Like if this particular cell 3 comma 3, right? If this particular cell is marked as enemy cell, then in that case the enemy will block the whole row and the whole column here, right? Similarly, I am saying that if this particular cell is marked as enemy cell, then this particular row and this particular column will be marked as block, right? When they are marked as block, I have some empty spaces. Now if you will observe in this question, it says that find, you have to do what? You have to find the largest contiguous area that is not blocked. Okay, you have to do what? Yellow line not clear, please. Again, this is the yellow line, like I am basically saying here. If you will observe, so I'll do it again for you, just a second. Okay, so if you will observe here, if we have 3 comma 3 cell, all right, now in that case, this, like if there's an enemy present here, then this whole row will be marked as block and this whole column will be marked as block. Similarly, if there's an enemy at 6 comma 8, so 6 is what? 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 8. So if we have enemy at 6 comma 8, then this particular row will be marked as block and this particular column will be marked as block. Okay, is that clear? I hope that is pretty much clear. Now, once these are blocked, so I can say that some of them are empty, right? Some of them are not blocked. So if you will observe, you have to find the largest contiguous area that is not blocked. You have to find the largest contiguous area that is not blocked. Okay. Please write area in the chat. What is the largest contiguous area here that is not blocked? Can you tell me? Anyone can tell me? Or suppose, in fact, if I change the coordinates and if I change the coordinate to, instead of writing 6 comma 8, if I write 7 comma 9, right? So in that case, which particular cell I'm talking about? I'm talking about this particular cell, that is 7 and 9. So now what will happen? This particular row, seventh row will be blocked, and all the like elements in the seventh column will be blocked. Now if you will observe, which is the largest area, can I say this region in this, now I have changed it, so can I say that this region is the having the largest area? Correct, this particular region. Yes, everyone can write a yes in the chat. Correct, this is the region that I'm having, this particular region that I'm having, this is having the largest area, right? This is the largest empty area, largest contiguous area that is not blocked. Correct, please write a +1 in the chat. Please write a +1 in the chat. If everyone is clear with this pink region, you can write a pink or a +1 in the chat as well, guys. Okay, everyone is clear with it? Yeah, but I have changed it to 7 comma 9 now. Okay, so that is why when I change it to 7 comma 9, now this pink region is having the largest area. Correct? A quick plus one. Correct. So I have to find this particular thing. I have to find this particular thing. So now notice one thing. Notice one thing. What was the coordinate here? I can say that maybe the coordinate here was 3. Let's say the coordinate here was what? 7. Then the coordinate here was 3. Then the coordinate here was 9. Okay. Now observe one thing, guys. Observe one thing. Now, if I will observe clearly, can I say that the length of this region? Can I say that the length of this particular region is nothing but 2? Right? And I can similarly say that the length of this particular region, right? The length of this particular region from here till here, it is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is coming out to be 5. Correct? Please write a yes in the chat. Everyone can write a yes in the chat. Correct? Everyone is clear with this part? Everyone is clear with this part? How I'm getting the length? By some sort of subtraction. Right. Length is what? Like, how am I getting this? Can I say that 5? Can I say that 5 columns are remaining here? Definitely yes, 5 columns are remaining. Why? Because you can see that like from starting from here till here, 5 columns are there. Correct. Absolutely clear. So in that case, how did I get that? So if you'll observe now, if I'll do 9 minus 3 minus 1, right, then I'll get 5. 9 minus 3 is what? 9 minus 3 is nothing but 6. 6 minus 1 is nothing but 5. You can write a clear yes in the chat if you're clear with this thing. Is everyone clear with this part? Is everyone clear with this? Minus 3 minus 1, this particular column, minus 1. Please write a clear in the chat. Everyone is clear with it. Okay, Hussein is clear with it. What about other people? Other people are also clear with it. And make sure to hit the like button if you haven't. I can see the number of people are watching are more compared to the likes. Is everyone clear with it? All right, great. Now observe this particular thing, right? Observe this particular thing. How many? What is the length here? So I can say that the length is nothing but 2 here. Correct. Length is nothing but 2 here. So I can simply say that. Let's say that if the counting started from 0, right? If the counting started from 0, so it is nothing but 3 minus 0 minus 1. Correct. That is the length here. 2. Please write 2 in the chat. Please write 2 in the chat as an acknowledgement. Is everyone clear with this part as well? I hope that everyone is clear with this part as well. Correct. Last calculation not clear. Why it is not clear? Because you are doing what? You are doing 9 minus 3 minus 1. That is nothing but 5 here. Okay. And here, this is nothing but 2. Why it is 2? Because if you will observe, so how many cells are empty? 2 cells are empty, right? So in that case, you can say that you are subtracting what? You don't have a starting cell. So that's why you're subtracting 0 here, right? Now, like you don't have a previous cell. So 3 minus 0 minus 1. That is how you're getting this 2 value. Please write 2 in the chat, everybody. Okay, all right. Now observe one more thing. Observe one more thing. If you have this particular region, right? If you see this particular region, how many cells are empty? 3 cells empty. Please write 3 in the chat. Everyone, why are we subtracting 1? Why? Because that is how we are getting it. Now, if you will see here also, we had 9, then we had 3. So when we did 9 minus 3, right, then we got 6, right? 9 minus 3 was what? If you see here. So 9 minus 3 was what? It was nothing but 6. If I do 6 minus 1, then only I'll get a 5 now. And that is the number of columns that were empty here. Correct. That is the number of columns that were empty here, this particular value here. Correct. Is that clear up till now? Similarly, if you will see here, so I'm getting like I had 3 here. So I'm getting a difference of 2. That is two rows are empty, and here 3 columns are 3 rows are empty. Is that clear? So that is nothing but 7 minus 3 minus 1. Please write +1 in the chat if you are clear with this. Everyone, I hope that this is basic calculation, which everyone must be very clear with. Everyone is clear with this calculation. Check that out. Okay, got it. Everyone is saying got it. Okay, great. Now observe this thing, guys. Observe this thing, guys. Now, where am I having the maximum area? Like where can I get the maximum area? Can I say that? Can I say this, guys? That area is nothing but length into breadth. L into B, like length into the breadth, the length into the breadth. Correct? Please write +1 in the chat for this. Area is nothing but length into breadth. Everyone can write a yes in the chat. Everyone can write a yes in the chat. Area is nothing but length into breadth. Correct? +1 in the chat if you are clear with this. Area is nothing but length into breadth. If area is length into breadth, right? Area, we know area is nothing but length into breadth. Now, if we know that area is nothing but length into breadth, right? So since we want what? Since we want the maximum area, right? Since we want the maximum area, So we will try to have maximum length multiplied with maximum breadth. Is that also clear to everyone? Is that also clear to everyone? Is that also clear? Please write a +1 in the chat. Length into breadth. Breadth, B means the breadth, Hussein. Right. So see, I'm saying that maximum area is nothing but maximum length into maximum breadth. Correct? Please write a +1 if you are clear with this, right? Maximum, right? So now when I talk about maximum now, so if you'll understand one thing, the situation could have been very different also. Like suppose that if you had this particular example here, let's say if I talk about another example in which I'll draw it like this, suppose, okay, if I had this particular diagram here, and suppose I was doing something like this. So now suppose that I was having this particular cell. So this is marked as block, this hole is marked as block, and this hole is marked as block. Right. Now what is the maximum area that I'm having? Can I say that the maximum area I'm having is nothing this area? Why? Because if you'll see, these two cells are empty, right? So you can see that at the cell 3 I was having this. Now this one length is empty, you can see that. And so here you can see that this two length is empty. So you can see that the area of this region is what? See, guys, see, the area of this region is nothing but 2, right? Because that is nothing but 2 into 1, because this is 1. Correct. Now, if you will see, what is the area of this region? The area of this region is 2 into 2, that is 4. Right. The area of this region is what, guys? The area of this region is nothing but 1 into 1, that is 1. Right. Because here the width is coming out to be 1 only. What is the area of this region? The area of this region is nothing but 1 cross 2, that is nothing but 2 only. Correct. So, what is the maximum area? Please write 4 in the chat, everyone. If everyone is clear with this part, that the maximum area is nothing but 4. Is everyone clear with this? +1 in the chat. The maximum area is nothing but 4. Please write 4 in the chat as an acknowledgement, and then we should proceed further. The maximum area is coming out to be 4. All right. Correct. Okay. So I am saying this thing. That what I'm doing here is like, see, can I say that 2 is the maximum length or maximum row length that is available to me, and maximum row available to me, and this thing is what? Maximum column that is available to me. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Correct? Please write a clear in the chat. Is that clear to everyone? So when I think about maximum now, so first of all, what I can do is I can simply say that I will have the rows, right? When I'll be given, suppose that I'm given first of all 7 comma, let's say I'm given 7 comma 8, then I'm given 3 comma 4. All these values are given, right? Let's suppose there's a grid of n cross n size and I'm given these values. So first of all, I'll try to mark what? I'll try to mark 3 as blocked. Okay. Then I'll try to mark 7 as blocked. Right. Then I'll say that, okay, I should have a 0 initially. Right. And you can understand one thing, that first of all, I want to compare this length and then this length, right? So I want to go sequential wise, right? So I'm thinking of storing all the rows, like all the rows that will be given, I'll be given the rows and the column pairs. So I'm thinking of storing all the rows. Okay, I'm thinking of storing all the rows into an array list, or you can say vector, or you can say list, right? I'm thinking of storing them in that, and then I want to sort it. Is that clear? Is that clear why I want to sort it? So that I can find the adjacent differences. Na? Like if you give me 7 comma 8 first of all, and then you give me 3 comma 4. So I will store the row as 7 3. Correct. Like in a vector, I'll show that, okay, seventh row is blocked and third row is also blocked. So I'll say that third is blocked and seventh is blocked, but that does not help me. So what I need to do is I need to see it from here, right? Right. I need to see that, okay, what is the gap? What is the gap in the rows that I'm having here? And then what is the next gap that I'm having here? And I need the maximum row gap, and similarly I need the maximum column gap also, right? If you have this particular column as occupied, then I want the maximum row, like maximum row gap, okay, and multiply it with the maximum column gap. Is that clear? Everyone can write a clear in the chat, and also hit the like button, guys. Is everyone clear with this? I'm just waiting for your responses, everyone. Just a quick clear in the chat. All right, all of us are clear with this. Yes, Raj is saying clear. What about other people? Other people also must be very much clear with this. Okay, great. Now, going further, what will I do? Going further, what will I do? I'll say that, okay, if you give me this thing, if you give me 3 comma 5, then you give me, let's say, 1 comma 2, then you give me that, okay, at these cells, these are the enemy, right? Enemy positions, right? Sorry, these are the, basically, these are all the enemy positions, right? When these are the enemy positions, right? When these are the enemy positions, then what will I do in that case? All of those enemy positions, for all of those enemy positions, I'll store the rows, right? Let's say 7 comma 9 is also there, so I can simply say that if I talk about a grid, then at the cell, right, at the cell, this cell, we have this thing, then at the cell 3, then at the row what 7, I have all these enemies. So these are the gaps that I'm having, these are the gaps, these are the gaps, right? So that is why if I'll store 3 comma 1 comma 7, that will not help in a row. I need to sort it. I need to sort it. Please write sort in the chat, everyone. Please write sort in the chat. This question is similar to Defkins in defense. I think so. I think so. That can be the case. Okay, is that clear up till now? I hope that most of us are pretty much clear with this particular thing. All right. Is everyone clear with this thing? Okay. Now, similarly, if I have the columns as well, you can see if I have the columns, so column here is 5, then 2, and then 9. So I want to look at the adjacent columns. No? I want to look at the adjacent columns in order to get the sorted order, right? Because then what I'll do is, if I have this thing, so I'll simply say that I'll mark it as 137 as rows, and the column will be what? I can simply say that the column will be 5, like it will be 2, then it will be 5, and then it will be 9. Correct? So if you will observe here, so what will I do here? So I can simply say here that this will be the length, right? So this basically, if you are talking about the one based index, and you see here, like here, if this is blocked, then the first cell is apparently empty now. So you can see that what you will do here is in this particular part, or let's say if we talk about a case, let's say we talk about another case that can be a very much basic. So if we talk about this case, let's say r is equal to, let's say 2, then 5, and then 8. Okay, and let's say the n value is 9 or something, right? If I'll talk about this case, so you can see, or let's say if I talk about n is equal to 10, in fact, right, then you'll understand this thing better, that if I'll see here, or let's say if I'll talk about something like all right, so let's say we talk about this as 6, okay, and we talk about this as 9. All right, now if you will see here, now if you will see here, so if somebody is telling me that, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then 10 here, these are the places. So I can simply say here that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, if I'm having these cells, right? So I'm telling you for the rows, and the same concept will apply for the columns as well, right? So they are saying that the second column is blocked. Okay, then they are saying, suppose that the sixth column, sorry, second, like this is for the rows. Okay, now if they are saying that, okay, the second row is blocked, the sixth row is blocked after sorting, okay, obviously after sorting, and it, when you sort, it will take n like k logarithmic of k time now, because there are k rows, like k rows, total k row cells are there, k column cells are there, right? Because total k cells are filled with enemies, right? Then sixth will be blocked, and then I think ninth will also be blocked. Correct? So if you will see here, guys, if you will see here, can I say that what are the gaps that you're having? Can I say that one of the gap you're having is one, just of size one? What do you think? Like if you will see, one of the gaps of the row gap, if you will talk about, one of the gaps you're having is one. Correct? This particular gap I'm talking about, this particular, only this much gap, right? Then another gap is this much, right? From here till here. Correct? So if you will see here, so how did I get one, right? One is nothing but this particular cell at which I had a gap. So 2 minus 0, okay, minus 1, that is 1. Please write yes in the chat. Okay, so that is why I'm subtracting 2 with a 0. So initially I'll insert a 0 here. I'll insert a 0 here. Okay, because the gap between these two people is 1, right? The gap between these two people is nothing but 1. It is nothing but 1, right? That is why I'm doing this. Is that clear? So that is why initially in the starting I'll insert a 0. Is that clear? Before sorting also I can do it. Like that will be much more optimal. Is that clear? Right. Then if you will look at this particular piece, if you look here, right? If you will look here, So I can simply say that what is the gap here? The gap is nothing but, I think you can see here, 3. 3 is the gap, right? So if you see the 3 is the gap. So what is 3? 3 is nothing but 6 minus 2 minus 1. That is nothing but 6 minus 3 overall. That is 3. Is that clear? Please write a clear in the chat. Everyone should write a clear in the chat, and please hit the like button, guys. I hope that most of you are very much clear with this part. All right. Let me change the format also. Right. Everyone is clear with this till now? Just waiting for the responses because I'm not getting them fast enough. Okay. Is that also clear? Okay. Yes, Raj is saying clear. What about others? +1 in the chat. Nothing less than that is what I'm expecting. Okay. Now, if you will see further now, so this is how I'm getting this, right? This is how I'm getting this. So now if you look further, if you will look further, right? If you look further, so now what's the gap? What's the next gap? So see, this is the next gap. I'm highlighting it with pink. This 2, this is the next gap, right? This is the next gap. The what's the question? You need to see that again, the whole stream. Okay, so if you'll see, the next gap is nothing but 2. Please write 2 in the chat as an acknowledgement. If sixth is blocked, then ninth is also blocked. Then the seventh and eighth is only free. So the gap is nothing but of 2 size. So that is nothing but 9 minus 6 minus 1. That is nothing but 2 here. Correct? That is nothing but 2. So in that case, I can say that this is nothing but 2. Please write 2 as an acknowledgement, right? So I can simply say that how am I getting this? So I can simply say that if I'm at the ith row, suppose this is like I, if I'm at an element I, so I minus 1. So I'm saying that R of I minus R of I minus 1 minus 1. That is the current gap, right? In terms of row, current row gap. Okay, so in that case, that is how I'll try to take out the maximum gap. Okay, but still one more gap is left. Can I say that? Because if I've iterated now, so you can see that for the like I still have one more gap. If you will observe here, I still have this gap, like one gap, this one gap between, like if 9 is filled, then still I have 10th row as empty, right? So you can see one thing, that if you will insert here now, if you'll insert here n plus 1, if you'll insert n plus 1, what is the value of n? I have given n as 10, suppose, right? Now if you'll insert 11, right? 11, that is nothing but n plus 1. Suppose you insert 11 as well, n plus 1. Now if you do 11 minus 9, that is the previous, like the current, like ith minus I minus 1th minus 1, what will you get? You'll get 1. So that is the how we are getting this gap as well. Is that clear why we are inserting a 0 as well as 1? Because 0 will help us to fill this particular gap, right? And then inserting n plus 1 will help us to access this particular gap. Is that clear? Everyone can write a clear in the chat. Is that clear? Why did I insert a 0, and why did I insert n plus 1 as well? Everyone can write a clear in the chat. I'm just waiting for your responses. Is everyone clear with this? Or some people are saying yes. Yashraj is saying yes. What about others? Okay, Vicky is saying yes. Okay. What about Rishit? What about the people? What about Jewel? What about Gaurav? What about everyone else? Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Is that clear? Right. Similarly, like, so see, in that case, what will I say? I'll simply say that I'll mark my maximum row as 0 initially, and obviously in the row, I'll store all the rows first of all. Okay. Then I'll insert 0 into my row array, and I'll insert n plus 1 as well. And then I'll sort the row, like I'll sort the row array, or you can say array list or vector. Right. So in that case, what will I do? I'll simply say that if I want to find the maximum row, and same logic will apply for the maximum column. So I'll say that I starts from 1, I is lesser than k, you can say, because k, total k enemies are there. So I'll say that, okay, mxr, maximum row size is equal to nothing but mx maximum of mxr, comma, what? It will be nothing but r of I minus r of I minus 1, and then minus 1 as well, right? So that's how I'm going to get this, right? That's how I'm going to get the maximum row. And similarly, how will I get this particular thing, that is the maximum column? So for that, I'll also similarly, I'll say that similarly for that also, I'm going to say that, all right, I'll store all the columns, right? So that is indicated by nothing but enemy of, that is indicated by nothing but enemy of I1. Okay, that is how I'll push it. So I'll push all the columns, corresponding columns that are, like you can say, that are empty, right? Like that are basically that are filled with an enemy, right? I'll push them, and then I'll also push 0, and I'll also push n m plus 1 here, right? When I'll push 0 and I'll push m plus 1, you need to push 0 now, because if suppose that the cell number 3 is the first cell that is occupied, right? If suppose that the cell number 3 is occupied, right? If cell number 3 is occupied, then how many cells are empty if the cell is starting from 1 2, right? So how many cells are empty? Two cells are empty now. If two cells are empty, right, you can see that two rows are empty basically, right? So in that case you will simply say what? In that case you will simply say that it will be nothing but 3 minus 0, okay? Because 0 plus minus 1, so that will be nothing but 2. That's how you get 2 now. So that is why I need to add 0 as well. Okay, I hope that is clear to everyone. Rohan, Anand, and other people are clear with it, right? So similarly for the columns, I'll insert 0 and m plus 1, and then again I'll do what? I'll say that okay, maximum column will be marked as 0, and then I'll say that for I start from 1, I is lesser than k, and then I plus plus, right? I don't want to start it from 0 because I'm always checking for I minus 1, right? So I'll say that mxc is equal to nothing but maximum of, right, maximum of mxc comma, what it is going to be nothing but column ith column, ith enemy column minus I minus 1th minus 1, right? That's how I'm going to check. Is that clear to everyone? And then in the end I can simply say that I'll return mx r into mxc. Is that clear to everyone? Is this part clear to everyone? Please tell me, guys. Hit the like button as well if you haven't. Is everyone clear with this particular part? Just quickly let me know. I hope that all of us are pretty much clear with this. Plus one in the chat. Everyone, please hit the plus one in the chat if you all are clear with it. Just a quick plus one in the chat. Everyone, is it, all of you are clear with it? Basic part, very basic stuff. Right. Now there's one more edge case to this particular problem now. Right. There's one more edge case. All of you can hit the plus one, guys. All right. Now this is still one more edge case that is lying ahead in this problem. Suppose that if I talk about the edge case now, so that is what the interviewer will also check. So suppose in this question, if it happens now, if k is equal to 0 now, if k is equal to 0, so that means when there is no enemy now, no enemy, right? You can say that when there is no enemy, right? If there is no enemy, then no cell is marked as blocked, no cell is blocked, right? No cell is blocked. If no cell is blocked, right, if there are no enemies, then you will have a grid of this kind, right? You have a grid of this kind and no cells are blocked. So in that case you can say that overall every cell is empty, so the answer will be nothing but n cross m. Is that clear? When k is equal to 0, then the answer will be n cross m. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Just quickly write a yes in the chat, everybody. Right. So you can see that what did I do? I basically applied sorting approach, and the time complexity will come out to be what? Order of k log k for sorting the uh, k rows and k rows that are occupied, and k log k for sorting the k columns that are occupied. And then you can say another order of k complexity I'll have for iterating through the column and the row array overall. So the overall complexity will be k log k only, right? Now let me show you the code. Can I show you the code part now? Just quickly write code in the chat if you are clear with this, and then I'll show you the code part for the problem as well. Okay. Now just give me a second. I have submitted the code here, so I'll show that to you as well. Everyone can write a code. Everyone can write code in the chat. You're clear with this up till now, and then I'll show you the code part as well for this particular problem. All right, code. Just quickly write code in the chat. Okay. So see, what I've done is I have declared an array A. You can declare it as R as well. Like let's say you can simply do what you can declare this as R, and you can declare this as column. Right. If k is equal to 0, then you are simply going to return n cross m. Please write n into m in the chat. If there's no enemy, right? If there is no enemy, so we are skipping to the best part. We are skipping to the best part. What is the like, yeah, code part? Yeah, right. Okay, so see, you have a array list, you can say, or a vector, you can say, that that will be showing the rows that are blocked and the columns that are blocked, right? So you, if k is equal to 0, if there is no enemy, in that case no cell will be blocked, so n cross m will be the answer, as I have already discussed, right? Otherwise what you will do is you will simply say that in the row, first of all you'll push 0, and in the column as well you'll push 0. Then you'll mark mx1, or you can say mxr as 0, and you'll mark mxc as 0 as well. Okay, then you will simply iterate through this particular whole array. So you can say that int, like you can say it like this: int I starts from nothing but 0, and I is lesser than k, then I'll do an I plus plus, you can say, right? And you will push what? You will push nothing but enemy enemy of you can say I0, right? Like I0 will indicate the row, and enemy of I1 is gonna indicate what? Like you can say this will be stored in R, this will be stored in C. So I'll store the rows. These are the blocked rows, right? Blocked rows, and then I'll also store the blocked columns, right? Blocked columns, right? When I've stored the block rows and block columns, we can write BR in the chat, BR in the chat, BRBC in the chat. If you are clear with this thing, or +1 in the chat can also work. Is everyone clear with this much part? Everyone is clear with it? Just quick +1 in the chat is what I'm sincerely expecting from everyone. If you have understood step by step till now, okay? BRBC in the chat. Just a quick BRBC in the chat. Flood the chat with BRBC, and then we'll proceed further as well. All right, great, guys. Okay, in the end, I'll also push right in the end in the row and in the column as well. As I told you, for my concept part, I'll push n+1, m+1 as well. Right, please write plus in the chat as well for this part, because as I said, I'll be pushing n+1 in the row and m+1 as well, and then I'll sort the row from the beginning till the end. Right, that is going to take k log k time, right? Because there are total k block cell almost, and I'll also sort the columns, right? Because I want the corresponding length. So I'll take k logarithmic of k time for this part as well. All right. Now I've done this. So what will I do? I'll simply say that I'll iterate till you can say I is less. Okay, I is lesser than a dot size. Sorry. Like r dot size basically. You can say r dot size or b dot size, c dot size, whatever. Right. So I'll iterate through all the sizes, and then I'll try to say that I'll find maximum row, maximum empty row length. Okay, that will be nothing but r of I minus r of I minus 1 as I've declared, and maximum column length will be nothing but maximum column minus column of I minus c, like minus the ith column minus c of I minus 1, right? That's how I've told it, and in the end I'll return mxr into mxc basically, right? Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear? Ah, got it. Iterating for k value. Yeah, not you cannot iterate for k values. So that is why r you can write it like k plus two, less than k plus two. Okay, you can write it like this, less than k plus two, because you're adding two more values. No, you have added zero as well as this thing, right? So that is why earlier I was getting a wrong answer, right? So you can write it like this. Basically, you can write it as I is less than r dot size, because you had k spaces earlier, but you have added zero block as well, and then plus one as well. Just a quick +1 in the chat if you are clear with this, guys. Everyone is clear with this. I can see that it's still 12:38 and many people are watching me. So just a quick +1, guys. If you have understood this clearly, just a quick +1 is what I'm expecting, and hit the like button as well. Have you all understood this thing? You can run it for k I is less than k plus 2 as well if you want. Is everyone clear with this? Just a quick +1 in the chat. Hopefully everyone is clear with it. Quick clear, flood the chat with clear, guys. That is nothing less than that is what I'm expecting from all of you. Is everyone clear with it? Okay. Everyone is clear with it? Just quickly let me know. Again, I'll repeat. What we were doing is we were storing all the block rows and the columns, right? So we're having array list, or you can say vectors for that. If k is equal to 0, that means no block cell. So all the cells are free. So I'll simply return n cross m. Otherwise, I'm pushing 0 and row and column as well, because that is included in 0. Then I'm iterating from 0 till k, and then simply what I'm doing here is I'm simply pushing the blocked rows and the columns as well, and the first as well. So that is why m+1 and plus 1. And once I've done that, I've sorted it, because get the corresponding differences, and then in the end I'm returning the mxr and mxc. If everyone is clear with it, just write +1 in the chat, and then we can end this stream as well. I'm waiting for, let's say, almost 30 seconds or 1 minute. Just quickly let me know if everyone is clear with this part or not. Is everyone clear with this particular problem now? Is everyone clear with this particular problem now? Guys, quickly let me know. Okay. You can write a claim in the chat. There should be no discount for this. Everyone can write a claim in the chat. Okay, I'm just waiting for 30 seconds more. I hope that everyone part of time will be K log K, na? Because you're sorting, na? So there'll be at most you can say K rows and K columns that will be blocked, na? So basically the sorting is taking the most empty. Yeah, because this is pair, na? Because this is pair, because you have been given it like this. Basically, you have been given 4 comma 5 or something, right? So this is the row, this is the column. So basically this is itself a vector, and that is why vector of vector is given. I hope that also makes some sense, Gaurav. Okay, thanks a lot everyone for watching this particular live stream. And just quickly write good night in the chat, and then I'll end this session as well. Okay, I'm just waiting for 30 seconds more, and then I'll end this stream. Okay, I hope that everyone is clear. Just for the one last time, you can write clear good night in the chat, and then possibly I'll also go to sleep. Okay, I hope that this was overall clear to you. We had some internet issues, still we were able to conclude this stream. So thank you everyone for watching this for today. And as I will tell you, the POD, if you will search, so GFG POD you can always do. And we can see that the problem of the day is nothing but array removals. It's a beautiful problem to be honest. So try to do it. And tomorrow some person will be taking it. Basically, actually, I'll try to open it if I can. Yeah, you can see that the problem of the day is nothing but array removals. It's a DB problem. So it's a beautiful problem to be honest. So try to do it. And tomorrow some person will be taking it, basically Siddharth Hazra. So we can tune in tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Bye. Take care everyone. All the best.